Hello, everyone. So nice to see you all here. We're streaming live on Facebook, and we are also in a live Zoom call. We've got day 2 of this transformative workshop going on. It's the Leading Lady Activation, taking you from being a people pleaser to valuing yourself, knowing your worth, honoring who it is that you are, what you want, your desires. And again, this is day 2. And I just want to take a moment to celebrate all the incredible work that we did yesterday. Virtual high five, high five. We dove deep. We went into those patterns of self-abandonment, of people pleasing. And I loved all of the insights that were shared in the chat. So I want to encourage you to participate today. Make a comment when something resonates with you, put it in the chat. And the more you participate, the more you're going to get out of this. So this is an invitation. You don't have to participate. You might be driving, you might be at work, you might be chilling, but if you can participate, the more active you can be in this, the more you're going to get out of this. So you want to have something to write with. You want pen, paper, maybe you type it into your tablet, phone, journal, but there's going to be more writing today, more exploring, so that you can gain more awareness of yourself, of these limitations that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you stuck, that has had your mind spinning in anxiety, disconnected from your emotions, from yourself. You're going to get much clearer on all of that today. And what we do today, you're going to be able to carry over into tomorrow, where we have our big breakthrough and release. So today we're getting clear about these limiting beliefs, clear about what it is that we really want, our desires, so that we can then have that transformational experience tomorrow. But today's transformational as well. Hold on, I need to plug in my computer. Oop. All the prepping and I forget to plug in the computer. Isn't that just the way it goes? So just to recap yesterday, we got, really real about those sneaky behaviors that we can get stuck in as the yes person, as the person that's consistently putting others first in front of our own needs, and we get put on the back burner. There never seems to be time for us. And so we talked about that heavy toll that it takes on our well-being, on our relationships, and on our sense of self, our identity, or the lack thereof, always merging and adjusting to other people rather than feeling a strong sense of our own self. And that in and of itself is the problem, and it's motivated by fear, right? Rather than a place of empowerment. And so that's what we want to get to, is from fear to empowerment. And so we looked at yesterday some of the subconscious beliefs and the childhood patterns that keep us trapped in that people-pleasing cycle. And so if you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch it. But if you haven't, that's okay. I'll catch you up as we go along. You're going to be good. You're going to get a lot out of this experience, even if you weren't here yesterday. So for those of you that are joining us that weren't here yesterday, I'm Lorraine. I'm on a mission to help women just like you to break free from these chains of approval seeking, of self-neglect, and embrace your own power. And why am I doing this? Because I've seen the incredible shifts that it creates in women's lives. For over 2 decades, I've been in this healing field, helping women to shatter those limiting beliefs that have held them back, so that they feel more confident, so that they're more authentically aligned. But for too many women still, they're living these dimmed down lives where they're hiding their lights, where they're stuck in draining, abusive relationships, whether that's a partnership or friendships or their parents or at work. This pattern shows up all over the place. It's not just in our romantic relationships. That's where we see the most attention, but it's showing up everywhere. Where we do one thing, where we do it in one area of our life, it shows up in these other areas of our life, because the common core is ourself, how we engage with the world, what we believe of ourselves, what we believe that we're worthy of. And so what we're doing here over these 3 days and beyond, it goes beyond just personal development. It's a collective healing and rising together. It's about joining forces as a global sisterhood to lift each other up as we awaken to our innate brilliance, to our strength, and to our purpose. And so at the end of this, well, first of all, I'm going to jam pack this with a bunch of value for you. There's a lot I want to get in, so we might be going kind of quickly today. But at the end, I am going to have an offer for you for an upgraded program, so that if this resonates with you, if you're getting value, if you really want to go on a journey, a 10-week journey with me, we'll talk about that at the end. And if you stick around, I have a special bonus available for you to make it really worth your while. It's not being offered anywhere else. It's just being offered if you're a part of this 3-day workshop. And so stick around, find out about it. If this resonates, you'd be crazy to say no. It's great value. So let's dive in. We'll get around to that later, but let's get going here. So today, we're going to go to a whole new level. We're going to peel back these layers and get to the real self within us, the deepest, most authentic self with our authentic desires, what it is that we truly want versus what we think other people want for us or from us, or our subconscious conditioning and programming. And so here's a list of the most common limiting beliefs that you might experience. And we went over this yesterday, but if you weren't here yesterday, you can look at this list, get up to speed on some of these really common limiting beliefs that that we see with perfectionism, with people pleasing. And these are the ways that things hold you back. And hold on, let's just pull up this list real quick. Here we go. So read through this list. We went over it yesterday, so I won't go over it again, but I'll just give you an idea about how this works. So here's the list. Read it over and find the ones that resonate the most with you, and then just pick one, the one that really seems like the top one. And there might be one that's like a knee-jerk reaction. You're like, oh yeah, that's it. But maybe, you know, if we're looking for something that's a little more subconscious, not something that we're consciously aware of, because everything it's subconscious, right? Because if we knew how to fix our problems, we knew what our problems were, first of all, what they really are. We think we know what they are, but our problem is not really our problem, right? That's how we solve things on the subconscious level. That's why so many of my clients come to me having done years of therapy, having seen 3 different therapists. I had one client that said they had 14 different therapists that they work with, and none of them was able to solve their problem. And they talked to me for 20 minutes in our initial clarity call, and they're like, I've already learned more about myself in this 20 minutes than I have with all those 14 therapists. And then we went on to have one session, our first session, which was over 3 hours. I think it might have been close to 4 hours, and their whole life transformed. So many, like every area of their lives, their sexual life, their clarity and their purpose, knowing who they are, coming from a place of true choice. And they were having like a bit of a mental breakdown, even though they were highly successful. They had everything on the outside, that made them look like, they should be happy. They just realized, I don't know if any of my choices my whole life have been my own. I went into the field that my parents told me to go into. I'm still in it, and I don't know exactly the direction I want to go. Just spinning and indecision, feeling hopeless and helpless and not having choice when it came to every single area of their lives. And they came out of it with complete purpose, awareness, clarity. Now, it's different for every person because people have different things, but what they thought was their problem, the anxiety, the depression, the OCD, was not their problem. Those were the symptoms of their problems. And once we got into it, they realized, oh, it's really this. It's really these other things that they explored in the session. And it's manifesting as the OCD, the depression, the anxiety, the feeling lost, disconnected. So that's what I want to do for you. That's what I want to help you with, is to move through those symptoms to find the real problem so that we can resolve it, so we can solve it, so you can get to a place of clarity, happiness, joy, and really having true choice. So, do you have a problem picked out? A limiting belief picked out? So, write that down. And then I want you to write about this. How is this a problem? How is this a problem for me? And I'll give you some examples of that. And then the second part of it is, what is it costing me? So as you write, I'll give you some examples in case you're feeling kind of stuck, to maybe trigger some things so that you're like, oh, okay, I didn't even think about it. Oh, that is happening for me, these activations popping online. So for instance, if you say you have a fear of rejection, you might write about how this fear has kept you unfulfilled in relationships, keeping you in relationships that aren't really, well suited for you, because you fear that if you really went for someone that was suited, that did treat you well, that you'd be rejected because they're too good for you. Or maybe it prevented you from going after your dreams. Let's say you have the limiting belief that I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of belonging just as I am. So the problem there would be, I keep myself small. I don't take up too much space. I make other people the center of my life because I don't believe that I'm worthy. And so I make everything about them. So my kids, I might live through my kids and everything that they have going on. When I get together for like wine with the other moms, all we do is talk about our kids and poopy diapers and our struggles with our partner, but we don't really have anything ourselves to talk about. It's about our roles that we play in the world. Or maybe you don't have true intimacy and connection because you're focused on performing. How am I showing up for other people? What's this mask that I'm wearing, rather than being authentic? What exactly is the problem here? Keep exploring, keep writing. You might partner with someone, the first person that gives you attention and makes you feel validated, that makes you feel good enough. Maybe they love bomb you and you find yourself in a relationship with a narcissist who takes advantage of you, who feeds off of you and your feminine energy, who takes advantage of you. And basically you're taking care of them like a child. Or maybe you stay in shitty relationships because you're afraid of being alone. Because if you're alone, then you'd be with someone that you don't like, someone that you don't think is enough, that's not worthy or deserving. So these are costs, or this is the problem. This is just exploring the problem right now. If you have a belief that you must be perfect to be accepted, to be loved, to avoid judgment, then the problem may be that you drive yourself crazy trying to be perfect. Or maybe you don't get enough sleep because there's so much to do and maintain in order to continue that air of perfection. Maybe you believe that, no one really helps you. You've got to do it all. So you're tired and exhausted. You worry all the time and you're an anxious mess, but you keep everything looking good on the outside. So no one actually gets in. No one sees you. You don't ever get that catharsis, that venting. Or if you do, you're doing it in a way where you're just complaining all the time and you're not actually progressing forward and finding solutions. Maybe you're bonding over, those wine dates with the girlfriends. Maybe you just bond over your complaints. Maybe you criticize yourself every time you look in the mirror because you don't think that you're worthy and deserving, because you think you need to be perfect in order to be accepted. So you look at every seeming flaw and you're constantly trying to change yourself, come across as perfect together. Maybe you decorate in the perfect way with the perfect styles, a nice neutral tone, but really, if you were to connect with yourself, you might find that you're more creative and playful and you want pops of color and fun, kitschy things, but you're not in touch with those parts of yourself. You're in touch with what looks good on the outside, what's Pinterest worthy, what looks perfectly clean and streamlined, so that you come across as enough. Maybe you need status symbols and these exterior signs of success to project that you're enough, that you're successful, that you're confident, when really you don't feel those things on the inside. So what happens? You feel like a fraud. You self-sabotage. So these are all exploring the problem deeper. That maybe you're like, oh, I didn't even think that I did that. Like maybe you don't ever really celebrate yourself or allow people to celebrate you because you don't want to bring attention to yourself. It doesn't feel safe to bring attention to yourself. You keep yourself small. You don't want to even let people know about your wins, your accomplishments, your successes, because in the past you used to get criticized for it. Maybe your family used to say that you were selfish. Oh, you think you're better than us, when you wanted to get out of, a toxic situation that was normalized growing up. And so you just, oh, I don't want to come across as being selfish, or like I'm on a high horse, so I don't want to celebrate me, right? And as a result, maybe people like you, maybe people come to you for advice, but no one actually knows you and no one's really there for you, right? Even if they do come in to try to support you, you shut it down because you've learned that it's easier to just do things yourself and that it's safer to be invisible, to be unseen, to be alone. To be alone, even amongst a group of family and friends and loved ones, because it doesn't feel safe for you to let yourself be seen. And so, what are some of the costs of this? Right? We explored the problems or possible problems. What are the costs? What is this costing you in your life to stay stuck in this problem, to not do something to heal and move forward? Well, it may be risking your physical well-being if you're in an abusive relationship, or our mind-body connection, what's going on mentally, emotionally, energetically in our body affects our physical well-being, right? So your emotional safety, your relationships, you allow yourself to be mistreated, and you might even mistake mistreatment for love. So it's costing you a truly peaceful home, a harmonious living environment, harmonious relationships, where you're able to truly be yourself, where you're free and open, where you allow yourself to feel, to be, rather than holding it in. I got to hold it in. I got to maintain this. I got to control this. It's costing you your joy because you've got to control the situation so that you can be safe, so that you can be accepted, whatever the cost is. And that could be affecting your success. That could be affecting your ability to use your voice, to speak up, to share when you're in the conference room, to share your unique ideas, to take a risk, to put yourself out there. Because why would this work? Why would this work for me? And I don't want to be visible. Ooh, it's scary to be visible, but at the same time, you long for it so much. So this worry, this anxiety, it can create health problems, autoimmune conditions. See this all the time, right? I had my own autoimmune condition that went from like an 8, 9 in pain and uncomfortableness to almost 0. I just have little flare-ups every once in a while, and maybe it's at a 1 or a 2 when I'm in stressful situations. And that's my body communicating to me, talking to me as a way that I'm able to check in with myself, my body, my intuition, talking to myself. And that's what I want to help you to have a connection with as well, right? So these are costs that you pay. And what do the people around you pay? What do your children pay? What is the cost when they're not seeing you in a healthy relationship, when that's not being modeled for them? What is it that what connections are they making in their mind about what a loving relationship means, a healthy relationship means, about what it means to be a woman? If you're making yourself small, thinking you don't deserve to have a voice, you don't want to come across selfish, is that what you want for them? Because that's what they're learning. And they'll repeat that pattern, or they'll do the exact opposite. Either way, when we're on these polarizing ends of the spectrum, it's, not the best, right? We want to be more, towards the center. We want to embrace it all, but be more towards the center, right? Are you modeling for your children what it looks like to truly be happy, to be present, to be able to put all the worries and anxiety aside, all the thoughts, my gosh, I should have done this, did I do that? Why did I say that? Oh, all the things, to put it aside and truly be present with them, to be engaged. A lot of people that come to me, they're like, oh, my memory's terrible memory, brain fog. And a lot of that goes away once they resolve their problems. They don't have to change their whole diet in order for the brain fog to go away. They just need to stop having this energy drain going to all of these other places that's keeping them exhausted, sleepless, not being able to rest because your brain's ruminating about all of the things that you should have said, could have done, didn't do. Do you give yourself the kind of care that you really need? The rest, the baths, the massage, the exercise, the healthy food. Are you accepting subpar relationships. And then in the bedroom, here's another cost in the bedroom. What happens in the bedroom when you don't allow yourself to let go? When you're tuned in to what are they feeling? What are they experiencing? What are they thinking? How are they seeing of me? How do they look? How do I look to them in this position? It's all performing. It's wearing a mask and it's performing. And it doesn't allow you to enjoy the pleasure of surrendering and letting go and receiving. Some people, that's the only place that they can let that go. And so that's not a problem. But this is something that's very common in this people pleaser, like it's about them. I want to make sure they're feeling good. My hands need to be on them, making sure they're okay, rather than I can just lay back and enjoy this. Right? Maybe what it's costing you is you don't go out on your own. You don't go to places that you really want to go because you don't want to be judged. Maybe you don't go to the beach because you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, or to the pool. Maybe your personal freedom and independence is inhibited, because you're putting up with restricting and controlling behavior from family and friends, or maybe you don't express yourself or pursue your own interests. You take on the patterns, the interests, the goals and dreams of other people, of your partner, rather than your own. And then it hits you one day just how truly lost you feel because you're disconnected from yourself, your true north, what lights you up. You've just been taking on other people's interests and beliefs. And so your identity is dependent on who you're with. And so that's why it gets so uncomfortable to be alone on your own, because it's like, well, who am I now if I don't have someone else to absorb, someone else's interests and hobbies? Oh, I like that show. That's my favorite show now. This is my favorite genre of music. This is what I like to do in my free time. Who are you without someone else? That's what I want for you. This is not a relationship course for you to learn how to get the man or to necessarily improve your relationship. This is first and foremost a relationship course where you're improving that relationship with yourself. And then it radiates out everywhere else. You're going to learn communication skills and tools to speak up for yourself, to address conflict, to have casual conversations about what it is that you want, what you're looking for, what you need, to be able to listen to someone else and find, harmony, win-wins. That's what this is about. This is what I want for you. Sound good? Sound like something you want too? All right, so we've spent a good amount of time exploring that. I want you to now ask yourself, what's holding you back? What is holding you back? Or how is this holding you back? How is this holding you back? What would you be doing? Could you be doing if you didn't have this limiting belief in place? If you didn't have this patterning in place, right? Maybe it's holding you back from standing on your own 2 feet, from really feeling that you can do it on your own and feeling confident and capable, so that you don't have to kowtow and bow down to someone else that has the power. Right? It's creating relationships where one person has more power than the other, rather than there being equalness, where one person is giving more than other, rather than it being reciprocal. So maybe it's holding you back from exploring the things that really make you tick, the things that light you up, the things that you enjoy doing for fun, the things that maybe there was oh yeah, that would be cool to learn about. That'd be cool to do. But because there wasn't anyone else that was interested in it, you didn't go down that path. You know, maybe it's holding you back from making new friends. You know, if there's not, nature abhors the vacuum. And if there's not a vacuum, if there's not a void, if you don't let go of the dead weight, it doesn't create space for the new to come in, the new healthy, reciprocal, loving, caring friendships. But you got to be able to allow that first. Because if you don't allow that, if you keep operating and functioning in the same way, you're just going to, the new people that come in are just going to be the same, right? You've got to do the inner work and change things on the inside. So how else is this holding you back? Is it keeping you from going out, doing stuff, getting out of that work home routine because of that like fear, particularly, oh, I don't want to do that on my own. You're going to have to start doing things on your own. Right? If you want to step into being the leading lady rather than the supportive sidekick, you're going to have to embrace that. And I know it's uncomfortable, but that's why you've got a supportive community, right? That's why you've got people there saying, okay, I'm here with you. Let's talk about it. Let's come up with some ideas. Let's come up with solutions. What does feel comfortable for you? Let's process this fear through your body and out of your body, and then install and integrate this courage, self-esteem, this sense of adventure, you know, whatever that looks like for you. It's different for everyone, right? So maybe you're holding yourself back from being creative and doing things that maybe you liked when you were a kid. Like maybe you used to do art and you tell yourself you'll get around to it one day, but you don't give yourself the permission to do it because it's not for someone else. I know for me, for years, I didn't allow myself to do creative things or explore things unless someone else was involved. And when I did have free time, it was like I just go into standby mode, just like spinning. Like, what do I do? And I had spirituality, so I could like meditate. But as far as like taking actions towards something, unless it was with my kids or for my partner or for my friends, I wouldn't do it for myself. But then I'm like, I love to dance. So I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna find opportunities to dance. You don't have to go to a bar or a club to dance. You can ecstatic dance. You can play some music and play it in your house. You can give yourself that time to do the things that you love. Even if you fear people are gonna make fun of you, even if someone told you that you sucked at dancing, you can sing, even if you have this belief that I'm too pitchy. Someone made fun of me. Someone gave me a look years ago. I'm not a good singer. What's holding you back from singing? If you love singing, I'm having a karaoke party coming up here soon. My friend's putting it together for my birthday because I was like, I really want to do that. I want us all to activate our throats and sing. And we're doing it in a fun, private room, a safe setting, so we can just like have fun and people can get cut loose. All these ways that we hold ourselves back. And the biggest one that people come to me, they're like, I just want to be able to be present. I feel like I'm missing out on life. I'm missing out on really bonding with my partner, of really connecting with my kids, of giving them the attention that they want, that they need. Because I'm in my head. I got to be somewhere else. I got to keep moving. I got to keep doing. I can't seem to just stop and be present and be here right now, focused. Right? That memory thing, oh, I can't seem to focus. I can't remember things. It's because you haven't done the inner work. You can get on medications. You can do the supplements. You can do all the things. But this is going to keep coming back. You got to clear this stuff out. If you're constantly taking in information, if your mind's constantly going, you're of course you're going to have a hard time focusing. because there's just so many things. You got to weed out and eliminate those things that are distracting you, that's keeping you from having a good memory, that's keeping you from having energy to do the things that you want, and that's keeping you from being able to truly be present. All right. So on to the next one. How we doing? Let me check in. How you doing? How's this landing with you all? Let me check the chat here. Ooh, I got some good stuff in here. All right. This quite resonate with me. The 20, I have to hustle and grind constantly to be observing of rest and joy. Yeah. Oh, to be deserving of rest and joy. I gotta hustle and grind all the time in order to be deserving of rest and joy. How do you know when you're ever there? Does the rest ever actually happen? How do you know when you've hustled and grinded enough? How do you know? This makes sense. Yeah. I'm glad this is landing with you all. So this next question I want you to ask is, how is this keeping you safe? Or how is it benefiting you? Right? And so we have these things called secondary gains. And we went over this a bit yesterday, and here's an abbreviated list I'm going to put on the screen for you to look at. So we talked about this a bit yesterday, and what we didn't talk about was this term called secondary gain. And so you know how sometimes you get stuck in unhealthy habits and unhealthy patterns, even though you know it's not good for you? Well, there's this sneaky reason behind it, and it's called secondary gain, because it means that on some level, you're getting something out of that problem. There's some hidden perk or some hidden benefit. And, maybe it helps us avoid something we're afraid of, or it gets our attention, or it gets attention and sympathy from other people, right? If I'm helpless, then it can get this attention, sympathy. It could even make us feel special or important in some way. Look how busy I am. I'm always doing stuff. I'm an important person. People need me. I'm important. So even though the problem is causing us pain, there's a part of us that's clinging to it because we get this secondary gain from it. And it's not like we're doing it on purpose. It's subconscious. We don't even realize it's happening. But recognizing that there's hidden benefits is a big part of being able to break free from these unhelpful patterns in order for us to move forward. Because there's these parts of us, like there's parts of us where like, I want to stop doing this. I want to stop procrastinating. I want to stop putting everyone else. I want to be able to say no, but I get blocked. I get scared. It's like, I just can't. And then I just say yes. And then I resent it. Why do I do that? Because there's this other part of you that says, no, that's not safe to do that. Right? Like, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been playing this role for a while, and we know it works. We know it works because it worked that one time back then when you're a kid, or it worked, when you first started that job, right? Or it works at work, but it doesn't work at home, right? But it works in this setting. So we want to keep that. And look at this secondary gain. Look at how you benefit from it. So your subconscious mind is like, no, nope. We don't want to change anything. So that's why it can be so hard to break these patterns, right? Like, think of eating patterns, right? We get something out of that too, right? But this is delicious. but this helps me in some way. And even it can keep us safe. So it's important to remember that these patterns usually start as a way to protect ourselves, right? Or meet a need, especially when we're kids and we don't have the tools and resources to deal with these tough situations. And even as adults, We don't have the tools and resources. So that's why I'm offering this. I want you to have the tools and the resources to be able to human optimally, right? And then to have that radiate out into your families, your friends, your community, and into the world, right? We need more of this kind of responsibility in the world, more skills and tools to be able to look at ourselves and say, oh, okay, I want to do differently. I want to do better, but these other parts of me hold me back. How do I do that? I get in touch with this part of me that's getting a secondary gain. All right, so some examples of secondary gain. So with that example that we used earlier, I must be perfect to be accepted, to be loved, to avoid judgment. I must be perfect. So what do you get out of that? Well, that striving for perfection, it helps you feel in control, right? I am in control of this. And it avoids the discomfort of feeling like maybe you're a potential failure or the potential rejection that you could receive. How else? What else might be like a gain that you receive from needing to be perfect? Constantly seeking approval from others gives you a sense of validation, connection. Even if it's not truly fulfilling, it gives you a hit. It gives you like a hit, like, oh, there's some validation. Do I look okay? Oh yeah, you're great. Oh, they give me validation. They give me praise. And the more that, and so then that's more motivation. Ooh, I'll be even more perfect. I'll do even more. I'll have everything totally clean. Oh, your house is so clean. Thank you. Look, everything's so pulled together and neat. Thank you. Your hair, your makeup, your car, that status symbol, these things that we carry that give us these hits of like, I'm enough, I'm enough. But then we always need more hits. And we become like an addict. Maybe you overwork to prove your worth, and it keeps you from feeling that you suck, that you weak. Instead, you feel like you're productive, like you're valued, even if it's exhausting. You're like, oh, but I'm valued, I'm productive. And again, it's like that hit. So if you feel like you're not worthy of love and belonging, just as you are, right? Here's another belief, right? This, you might accept controlling and possessive behaviors from people, right? From family, partnerships, that one friend that like needs to control everything. And she's the leading lady, but you're just the supportive sidekick. But what do you get out of that? You feel wanted. You feel like you're serving a purpose. You feel worthy. You feel belonging, even if it's restrictive and limiting to yourself. Right? So you might put your partner's needs first, and that gives you a sense of purpose and value, even if it's at your own expense and there's nothing left for you. You might accept abuse, infidelity, disrespect as a form of love. Right? That's what love is. And it helps you maintain a sense of connection and belonging, even if it's toxic, right? And it also helps you to avoid the pain of being alone, right? Being alone and what that means, what your mind has meant about that. And also, well, if I'm alone, I'm with myself and I don't like myself. So I need someone else to connect to in order to distract myself from me. So even though it's hurtful, it gives you that sense of connection and it avoids that pain of being alone. Right? I hope these are ringing some bells for you. What's happening? Any of this resonating? Pop in the comments if this is ringing a bell for you, if you've experienced this before in your own life, right? And I hope you're writing these things down so that you're able to explore this more deeply about how this shows up in your own life, on your own journey. Hmm. All right. So what's next? So I want to clue you into this concept um, that's really going to change the way that you relate to yourself. And it's this idea that what it is that you think that you want, like a certain job or relationship or a certain experience, there's actually a deeper desire beneath that. So, for instance, let's say that you think you want a promotion at work, but if you dig a little deeper, you might find that what you really want is a sense of recognition, of accomplishment, of financial security, and then feeling confident, safe, right? So as you peel away the layers, there's more and more. And so we can have habits that are constructive and then destructive. And what we're looking at is a lot of the destructive habits, right? So I want you to think of two people. One of them wants to build a house, another one wants to burn a house down, right? Two opposite things. Building something, going towards something, tearing something down, destruction. And you might think, what do these people have in common? They don't have anything in common. They don't want the same things, but they do. Stick with me. So let's look at this person that wants to build a house. Well, why do you want to build a house? Well, I want to have safety and security for my family. Great. So then what's the deeper desire, right? The desire behind the desire. Well, if I have safety and security, then there'll be peace and harmony. Okay. And then what? Well, when there's peace and harmony, then we'll have self-esteem. I'll have self-esteem. I'll know that I'm doing enough, that I'm providing for my family. And then what will you have? Well, then I'll feel love for myself, love for others. There'll just be love in my life when I have this, all of these other things. It leads ultimately to the goal, this higher value, which is love, peace, harmony. That's here at the top, right? So that's someone that's building a house. Now let's look at someone that's destroying a house, burning it down. Why would you burn a house down? Well, I wanted the insurance money, right? Money. That doesn't look like what the other person wants, safety and security. I want money. Okay. So when you get that money, then what do you have? Well, then I have safety and security. Oh, okay. So by burning that house and getting the money, then you have safety and security, starting to look like this other person that's the same as building. And when you have safety and security, what do you have? Well, then I have a sense of confidence and self-esteem. Great. And then what do you have? Well, from there, then I have love. I have peace. I have harmony. So two different actions, same ultimate goal, same ultimate desire, right? One is building something, one is tearing something down. This is destructive. And the same can be said for these patternings, right? You've heard that a child will revert to negative attention because it's better than no attention. It's the same as this destructive pattern, right? And so you have these limiting beliefs that served you once, but they're not serving you now. The goal is to get the love, peace, and harmony, but it's not working because it's a destructive pattern. You burn that house, you don't have a place to live in anymore. Maybe you get, caught and go to jail. Instead, let's build something together. What is it that you want to build? So let's look at some specific examples here. Let's say you think you want a promotion. Oh, no, not that one. Let's say that you find yourself continually saying yes to others and putting their needs before your own. On the surface, you might think that you just want to be helpful and liked. But if you look deeper, you might discover that what you really crave is a sense of belonging, acceptance, validation from others. And what do you get from that? Love, security, safety, right? Maybe you're a perfectionist and you're always striving to do things flawlessly, beating yourself up. But when you fall short, what do you think of yourself then? That's destructive. You might believe that you just have high standards, but beneath that, there may be this deep desire to prove your worth, to feel competent and successful, so that you avoid that shame and criticism and fear. And getting that sense of competence and success will get you love, belonging, right? These higher level, top of the level, the things that we really want versus what it is that it seems like we want. So I want you to contemplate this as you look back at everything you've written, everything you've explored. What is it that you really want? What is this action? What is this symptom? What is this thing that you're doing? And what is it getting you? And then what is it that you really want? And go another level. What does that get you? What is it that you really want? And then is there a way to get it that is more productive, that's moving you toward what you want rather than getting away from what you don't want, away from motivation? You want toward motivation. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to build. And building it from a strong foundation rather than having to burn something down. Revert to negative attention, right? Things that aren't truly serving you or the people around you. And we talked about this yesterday. So tomorrow we're going to go deeper with this. Tomorrow is the big breakthrough day. Okay, we're building up to this. We're really exploring this, but working on ways to bring this into a context like this. This is very different than how I work with people one-on-one or even in, the group coaching. But I've been doing my best to get you to explore these things in a way that makes sense so that you can get more clarity around what it is that's been going on with you. Like, oh, that's everything that's in there. And tomorrow we're going to be doing the release work. We're going to be getting really honest about what's going on the inside, what's motivating us, why it is that we do the things that we do, and then doing that breakthrough around it. And so I hope to see you there tomorrow. So now I told you that if you stuck around, I tell you about this larger program that I'm doing, and I have a really big bonus for you. If you decide to do it, if you feel called, I want to give you this incentive, right? And so here's a list. So we have our Leading Lady activation going on right now. And we're activating things within ourselves, activating and turning on, so that we're able to see and know and become aware of this. And then we have our initiation into the Leading Lady, right? If you really want to step into the Leading Lady, I have a 10-week program that's coming up in a little less than 2 weeks. Starting on the 22nd. It's the 22nd of Wednesday. I keep thinking the 20th in my mind. The 22nd. So it starts on the 22nd, but we have early bird pricing right now and an incentive. But let's go back to that other screen. I want to talk about what you're going to get from the Leading Lady. First of all, I want to let you know you're going to get live coaching with me in the group, right? You're going to get videos coming to you with a bunch of teachings and things for you to do on your own. And then you're going to get to come into the group space to do experiential stuff. So right now, this is more like, it's somewhat experiential, but this is more like taking things in, taking information in, learning. You're actually going to be doing, experiencing, practicing what it is that you're learning around how to communicate, how to connect, how to get in touch with yourself, your needs, your desires, and then coaching with me so that you can work through the things that are coming up with you on the way. Because you transform things and then you got to apply it. And so you're going to get that support from myself, from a group of women, from a sisterhood of women lifting each other up. And this is a 10-week journey. So you're going to learn to connect deeply with yourself and your inner wisdom. You're going to discover and trust your inner voice. You're going to navigate your emotions. A lot of people are like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to do with them. They get out of control, so I just shut them down. But you're going to learn to navigate and embrace your emotions with confidence. You're going to understand and process your inner world and gain clarity. You're going to identify limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You're going to express yourself fully without the fear of judgment. And you'll probably have fear there, but you're going to have the courage to move through it, to have these brave, courageous conversations that deepen your relationships. On the other side of conflict is always the opportunity for deeper connection. And so you have to be able to take that risk in order to get what it is that you really want. And you can read all the books. You've probably read stuff. You probably watched videos, but it takes practice. Those self-help books, we call them shelf-help books because you read it, it goes on the shelf, nothing changes. You get inspired, nothing changes. You need a community to hold you accountable, to practice, to put these things in action. And that's what the leading lady initiation is all about, right? Initiation is about going from one phase in life to the next. And in traditions, other, traditions, more tribal and ancient traditions, a lot of those things that you had to do were life-threatening. Think about like sororities and fraternities. They have hazing rules now, but there was a big challenge you had to bust through in order to be initiated into that order, into that next thing. So it's not going to be that challenging, but this is going to be initiation. And the challenge for you is going to be leaning in to those uncomfortable places. What is unfamiliar territory, right? So you're going to be able to handle conflicts, lean into that, and do it with grace. You're going to be able to hold space for other people, really step into being a healer and holding space for other people in a way that is genuinely supportive, right? We talked yesterday about how a lot of things that you're doing is actually it's taking from people, it's enabling, it's keeping them from growing. You're going to learn how to hold space that does not take from others. Even if it seems like you're giving, it's not what you think. It's completely different. And you're going to be able to ask for what you need without feeling guilty, without apologizing. You're going to be able to have boundaries. And you're going to be able to harness the power of energy to create positive change for yourself. Everything is about energy. When it comes down to it, everything's energy. Emotions are energy. The things, the traumas that are stored in your body, that is energy. The limiting beliefs, that's energy. The suppressing of emotions, that's energy. All the people you're going to, that's energy. So we're going to work with energy. So this is spiritual, but not overtly spiritual. Any spiritual belief that you have, you can bring to this. You don't have to have a certain dogma, a certain mindset to be a part of this. It's all great. And so what does this investment look like to be a part of the leading lady? I'm going to show you. So this is the normal price here. We've got two different options. The gold package, this is the group program. And then if you want to also work one-on-one with me to have one-on-one transformations, that's the platinum program. For the full, wham bam, the whole enchilada. If you want the whole transformation, you want to go for the platinum, right? But you're going to get a lot out of doing the gold package, right? And then if you want to work one-on-one, then we can do that as well. But you can get an idea about what that looks like by going with the gold package. And we got an early bird, early enrollment special until Sunday. So that gold package is only $1,600. But guess what? I've got something else for you. If you enroll by the end of this program, so by tomorrow, right, then I've got another discount for you so that it's half price. So instead of 222, it's 1111. It's just a little over $1,000. So you're getting over $1,000 off for a 10-week program of group coaching, of a community of women that are there supporting you. You're getting an online portal of videos with lifetime access to those videos, of teachings, of tools that are giving you the foundational level that you need for wellness in your life, for healing, for self-healing, for helping to heal others in a way that's honoring of yourself and them. You're getting a breakthrough buddy, where you're going to be doing work together outside of the class, outside of the course. So you're going to be deep diving into these transformations, right? So that's everything that you're getting with that gold package. And then if you want to do the platinum package, that includes one-on-one support with me. That is 3 sessions. Each session is up to 3 hours long. We're deep diving. We're going in there and we're not stopping until we've untied all of those knots. This is what I do. I help people get rapid transformations. You don't need years of therapy in order to get these transformations. And the one-on-one work, that is the transformational part. That's where you're going deep into the subconscious mind, seeing all your programming, clearing that out, getting those quick transformations. The group program, that's where you're then learning the skills and the tools for you to process your emotions, for you to communicate with others, for you to speak up. That's where you're getting that practice using your voice, knowing what your needs are, knowing what your wants are, really exploring yourself. So those two go hand in hand. And again, for that platinum practice, that platinum package, you're getting over $1,000 off on that. So that brings the price down from the early bird special. It takes off $489. So I believe it comes to $2,889 for that platinum package. So if you look to the left there on the screen, there's a promo code. You want to use that promo code when you sign up. You want to put that in, and that's where you'll get over $1,000 off of this package. Like, I wanted to make this a no-brainer for you all. Like, a little over $1,000 for this gold package is unheard of. This is a 10-week journey. This is not just an online portal with a bunch of videos. You're getting the coaching. We're getting together 3 hours each week to do exercises, experiential exercises for you to know yourself, for you to connect with the other women, for you to connect with yourself, and for you to get live coaching with me. Okay. So say yes to yourself. If this resonates, say yes to yourself, sign up, pop that promo code in. And if you have any other questions, if you're wanting to talk with someone, see which one's right for you, is this for you? If there's something that's coming up for you that you just want to be like, I don't know, like, is this it? Then you can set up a call. A coach that works with me, who's a friend, who's worked with me as a client, she's a coach, and she'll hop on a call with you. And so we're going to put her her link. Whoops. Cancel. Cancel. We're going to put her link in the chat here. I don't think she's on right now. Let me see if I can find her link. Well, it's in an email. Reach out to me. We'll get you in touch with her. You can only do so much preparation. Yeah, you can get on a call, see if this is good for you, see if this is something that you want. Do you want the gold? Do you want the platinum? All right. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow. And again, tomorrow, you're going to get a better idea about what it's going to look like being a part of this program. You're going to get a transformational experience and a release. So bring this work that you did over day 1 and day 2 into tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the change.